Step all the crazy things that this guy seems to step in. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. It is the 5th of March. And, I've had a decent morning, I will say. Now, on the other hand, the tax bill came in, and that is definitely made me take a deep breath and run around like a chicken with my head cut off for a few minutes. But I'm recollecting myself and going to figure out how to make it work. So that's going to be something that I had to deal with. So whatever you do, please, as your business grows, make sure you are putting aside money for taxes, for the love of Pete, because it will, the government's going to get their money, and we do not want to get in the hole with the government. So please take care of your taxes. All right. Anyways, enough about that. Today I want to talk to you about a great topic. I think this is something that I know I did when I first started, and I want to share my thoughts with you and, kind of get your thoughts. And that is, when I first started on Fiverr, I didn't know what I was doing. I was brand new to voiceover, and I knew after just watching a few videos and things that I needed a demo. And I didn't have one, of course. And as I started to look around, I started to see how expensive they were. I started finding people that were charging, $2,500, $3,000, $3,500. And there's nothing, it's funny, as I've, just on a side note, as I've progressed through my business now, I know how valuable a great demo is. But at the time, right, it was a lot of money. It still is a lot of money, but, it was just more money than I had at the time to spend. So, I was like, well, I need something. I need a demo somehow. I need to get something up. So I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to have to make my own. And that's what I want to talk to you today about, your DIY demo and, what you are doing on Fiverr. Because I'm seeing a lot of people doing this, putting up their own demo, creating their own stuff. And I think it's fantastic. But I do want to talk to you about it and discuss, my thoughts, when it comes to the demo in general and what you can do to be successful and just things to look out for. Now, I do want to point out just something to keep in the front of your mind. As I've said before, but I'll say it again, about 4 years ago when I started on Fiverr, even then there was about 7,000 gigs in voiceover, right? Now there's over 23,000 gigs in voiceover. It has grown tremendously, and that is something that I feel should be, you should pay attention to, because now as it's grown so big, you have to think, with more competition, we've got to be better, right? We've got to be better than we had to be before. And I'm not saying we didn't want to be as good as we can be no matter when we're doing voiceover, but with more competition, right, comes more competition. So when I first started, my demo consisted of short snippets of commercial auditions that I had done for a variety of different places. And, that's something that I, at the time, had. And, so what I did is I just strung them together. At the time, I didn't know much about mixing music, so I didn't mix any music with my demo. And I put that up, and, that was my commercial demo at the time. And, I got a few bites. I got some business. But I want to say that if you don't have the money to purchase a professional demo, and, you're still brand new, so you're still learning through what you're doing, I would say that, do the very best that you can. Make the best product possible that you have to offer. All right? And yes, I'm an advocate of doing it yourself. Okay? But this comes with a side note. And the side note is that please, by all means, know that you are not going to, be in the running for all of the jobs that you might want. Meaning that, just like, for example, equipment. When I first started, you all know, right? I had a $40 microphone, my hobo fort, and, I was getting work. But the work I was getting was the work that I could do at the time. Does that make sense? It wasn't, high paying jobs. It wasn't the more sought after work. Okay. And that's fine because it's what I had. But I guess what I'm trying to say to you is, please, there's this idea that we can't do voiceover unless we have the very best equipment and the very best demo and all this stuff. And that's just not true. But there's the but. But it's just important, again, to note that at the level you are, you're going to get the work at that level, right? You're going to not get the work at a higher level and then a higher level just because your equipment, your performance, the perception of your business, what your business has done, the credibility of your business over time, right, is just not there. So don't expect and don't be upset if the work that you're getting is on the lower end. If you're using lower end equipment and you have a brand new demo. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. That's how I started. We all start there. I think it's a great place to start because you kind of got to prove yourself, right? It's the proving grounds, right? It's the fighting grounds. You got to work your way through it. We all did it. I did it. Okay. But I just wanted to talk to you about this topic because I think it's a great idea to put together your own demo. I'm always an advocate for putting out what you can actually put out, not to have something where you're like, I've got this amazing demo, and then when you go to record yourself, it sounds like night and day opposite, and people are like, I don't get it. What is this? This is what it sounds like. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to be equal to what I put out to what people heard on my demo. So that's why I do love a DIY demo. But at the same time, okay, again, you just have to note that there's nothing wrong with it, but you're only going to get the business at that level. So you might get lower end business, which is no problem. But just, before you complain about it, you know what I mean? Just think about where you are. And then as you invest in higher end equipment, better demos, better training for yourself, you're going to get better. You're going to get higher paying jobs because as you go up, the competition is more stiffer. And think of it this way too, like I was talking about Fiverr. Now that there's so many people on Fiverr, it does kind of make you feel like, okay, well, I need to up my game. I need to be better. I need to have professional headshots. I need to have a professional demo if I want to compete on the front page with all the other top-rated sellers. But the point is that when you're just starting out, you've got to start somewhere, and that's okay. I mean, when I first started out and I had my coat hanger pantyhose pop filter, I did what I could do. And I'm proud of myself for doing what I did and building up my business. All right. JB Music, thank you so much for that $10, the super chat. I really appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. Thank you. You said video game controller evolves into a muscle. Okay. Hey, remember, it reads out the thing, so I'm sure it's pretty cool emoji. Thank you so much, JB Music. I really appreciate the donation and the super chat. Thank you, sir. So again, please, don't be afraid to put your DIY demo together yourself. Don't be afraid to get it out there. Don't be afraid to put it up on Fiverr. Don't be afraid to go get pictures. I mean, I take all the thumbnails that I always see, and maybe it's noticeable, but I use my cell phone. Now, if you noticed, I made this. My walls are blue. I'm gonna tell you all the truth. My walls are blue. All right, look at this, because this is me. All right, I want you to look over here. See, my walls are blue. I think some of you all have seen. There we go. Am I still live? Okay, good. My walls are blue. Okay, you guys, sorry about that weirdness, but my walls are blue. But I created this set. I'm a set designer, all right, because I wanted it to be more aesthetically pleasing. I wanted you to enjoy my videos more. Okay, but it wasn't always like this. I used to be in a hobo fort. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with being in a hobo fort, packing blankets and PVC pipes. But when I was in that, I was still aware of what my limitations were. Okay. And the perception of that. So just remember, put the very best you can out at this moment. Don't be ashamed of it, but just do it with your eyes wide open so you know that you're not going to be getting all of the fantastic jobs, okay, that maybe people that have $30,000, $40,000 more in equipment and stuff than you do. Now, there is a caveat to it. I'm not saying you have to have all of that expensive equipment to get good work. But I can tell you from hard experience, and this has come up a lot in the last week, actually. People are like, hey, listen, Anthony, I've got this microphone. You know what I mean? It's a USB microphone, or it's an entry level $100 to $200 microphone. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're like, how do I make my voice sound like your voice? Or how do I make it sound like so-and-so's voice? All right. Well, so-and-so might be using $1,000 microphone or $2,000 or $3,000 microphone. They might be using $1,000 interface, with a $4,000 to $5,000 computer and all that stuff. Does that equipment make you better? Like as an actor? No. But I can tell you with absolute certainty, it does make you sound better. I mean, like your voice, I'm telling you from experience, from using $40 microphones to $200 microphones to $500 microphones to $1,000 microphones, it does change the sound of your voice. It doesn't change your acting, but it changes the sound of your voice. And I'm just pointing that out to you because on the other point, we should always be reinvesting. The goal should be to reinvest to get a better product, to grow our business even more, with better equipment. And through that, then you can get a better demo, you can get better, samples, and then go get professional pictures. All of these things will make you better. But it does start with a DIY demo. So real quick, with that DIY demo, just remember a good rule of thumb is that 6 slots is usually the general thing. Sorry, I think my dog's barking downstairs in the background. But you got general rule of thumb is 6 spots on a demo. Could it be more? Yes. Could it be less? Absolutely. You'll notice that these are just general rules, but they're rules that can be broken. All right. Some demos are samples. I always call a sample as like one read. All right. Whereas a demo to me is multiple reads. Okay. So, and it's always nice on a demo to vary the styles that you have. It's still like if it's a commercial demo, we're still looking at commercial type of reads, but they could be different. Like some can be upbeat, some can be luxury style, more intimate, or some can be inspirational. Some can be like the guy or gal next door. Some can be funny, right? Like insurance spots. Some can be straight up, consumer products. All of these things. All right. All of these things can be into your DIY demo, but in the end, you got to use what you have. Like I said, I actually used Voice Bunny. Well, at the time it was Voice Bunny. Now it's Bunny Studios. And, Voice Bunny Bunny Studios pays you to audition. So I was just doing tons of auditions and I had all of these different auditions and it allowed me to actually go and I took all those auditions and I stuck them together. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know any difference. So I stuck them together, used that as my demo. And I got work. But here's the thing. As you know my story about how over the years, every year, my work, the money I've made on Fiverr and other places have gone up and gone up and gone up. And I'm a firm believer. Yes, I've gotten better. Absolutely, as a voice actor, that's completely true. But also, my equipment's gotten better. My demos have gotten better. My pictures have gotten better. My interface got better. My editing has gotten better. Everything is getting better. I invest in better equipment. It gets better. And as that gets better, so does my income. All right. So I just want you to think about that. Please start where you can start, but start with the knowledge or the idea that you're going to reinvest. Okay, because that's how you're going to get better over time and get more. All right. So anyways, that's my spiel. I wanted to tell you that because there's a lot of people lately who've been talking to me about their DIY demos, what they've been doing, asking me questions. And I thought I just wanted to talk to you about it and tell you my story, where I came from, how I did it. Now, I've had about 4 over 4 years, 4 main demos. And now I've had lots of demo samples, but I've switched. So let me tell you about that, because you might find that interesting, because this might help you. So I've recently seen such a great surge in interest in videos, right? So you do a voiceover for a video, people put in a video together. So I collect as many videos from clients as I can that I voiced. I got another one back today. And, I do the voiceover, they're putting it together because they're using my voiceover for their video narration of some kind. And I always do my best. I either ask them for it, I download it from YouTube, from Vimeo, they send me links, I get the videos from them. And I take those videos and put them into a folder, and to me, they become assets of my business, because now when I share stuff with people, I share video links. I have unlisted, I upload them to YouTube unlisted, okay, and I share them with YouTube. Now, again, this also can help you with your demos on Fiverr, because you take those videos, you cut and splice them together so that you have, video after video together in a minute 15. But that raises another challenge, right? Now we've gone from just doing audio to video work. Now, you don't have to make the videos because we're getting these from clients, but at the same time, you're going to have to you're going to have to cut and splice them together, because a video might be a minute long, which is a short video, but for our purposes, we want it more like, 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. We don't want it that long because we want to get a couple in there. And sometimes you got to cut and splice and try to figure out the best places to put things, especially if videos have long gaps between them. The point I'm trying to make to you is that is another way for you to start getting better looking, better perceived demos by collecting the video samples. Okay, or I mean the videos that you do voiceovers for, all right? And this is for people who are already starting to get work, okay? And then you're collecting those, saving them, using them as your samples so that moving forward you can put them together and have better demos. I think I've got 60, 70, 80 videos. I put as many videos as ever I can on the platforms. Like Fiverr allows you 30 or 31. Upwork allows you 30. People per hour allows you like 20, 25 or so. A lot of these sites allow you. Now, Voquent doesn't allow you to put videos right yet. They allow you to put samples, up to 30 samples, so single reads. So you can see as time is going on, the MP3 demo, now mind you, I still share my MP3 demo. Okay, I still do, because it's the fastest way for me to share something online. But now being able to share videos changed a lot. All my email marketing, I send videos. I don't send my demo. I send video samples. All right. And with a good video, it makes you look 10 times better. Okay, so that's just another way. I mean, as time goes on, things are going to change, but I just recommend getting videos that will help you put together a portfolio of work that then you can turn into your demos to better increase the visibility of your business, okay? All right, so listen, I think I've talked enough about DIY demos for today. What we're going to do now is, if you're new to Fiverr Friday or not, this is the time where I kind of open it up. Please post your comments, questions about Fiverr, about voiceover in the chat, and then we have a good old discussion, and I try to answer your questions as well as I can. Also, if you get a chance, I know I want to, again, thank JB Music for that awesome super chat, but there's a little like money thing in the bottom right hand corner, and if you click on that, you can donate to a VO's journey in this channel. So it allows me to keep doing these videos and be with you for an hour and a half. Sometimes I know it gets long, but and it's okay. I love chatting with you guys, and it helps pay the bills and the taxes. Oh, the taxes. Anyways, I talked a little bit about taxes at the beginning. Please save. Like right now, we're almost done with the first quarter. I know the first quarter of taxes are due the same April 15th. State and federal taxes are due not just for 2020, but also for the first quarter of 2021. All right, April 15th is like, hell day, right? But that's a day that you want to be able to pay, so that especially as you grow your business, okay, especially as it starts growing over 20,000, then it grows over 100,000, and then a couple 100,000, and as it grows above that, taxes can be quite offensive. Anyways, let's go back up to the top and let's greet everybody and welcome everybody and get started on this. Remember, post your comments, questions, so I can answer them. All right, Character Voices, hello. It's good to have you. Joe, my man from Facebook. Character Voice from YouTube. Johnny, hello, mate. Johnny, good to have you. Johnny will get that. Joe, how's it going, man? Doug from Doug Fairbanks. Now, okay, Doug Fairbanks in Indianapolis. I love that, Doug. I was going to ask you if you're from Alaska, but no, you're in Indianapolis. Good to have you, Doug. Snacky's Voices. I love that. Good afternoon. Voiceover Angela. Hello, Angela. Hey, P and everyone. Happy Fiverr Friday. Yes, yes. Sean says, good morning, Anthony. Good morning, all. Happy Fiverr Friday. Just did my taxes and everything worked out great. That's awesome. Good for you. Like I said, I had a heart attack this morning talking to my tax accountant. And once I recovered and picked myself up off of the floor, I had another heart attack, but then I went on and I'm here with you today. So Arizona is an awesome state to have a business in. LLC will be $300 one-time fee. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So I live in Virginia, and Virginia has a pretty decently high state tax too. So, I've been looking around for states without a state tax. Anyways, let's see. Chris, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Facebook user, I'm so glad you're talking about this. Awesome. Thank you. Thomas, welcome from YouTube. Hey, man, I'm moving into a new house. Congrats. And want to get into VO as I'm a stay-at-home father. Awesome. I'll be treating a closet, and I'm thinking a dynamic mic like the RE20, the SM7B would be best. Thoughts? Yeah. First off, congrats on getting a new house and being a stay-at-home dad. Listen, I think if you're going to get a mic, a dynamic mic, and those are the two you're choosing from, I know this is going to be weird. So I have the RE20, but I actually recommend the SM7B, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually like the sound of the SM7B for voiceovers. Well, I like the sound of this for voiceovers too, but the SMB is cheaper. It's like over $100 cheaper. So, I think both of them are great mics. And I like this one because it's like an old school. It's hardy. It's hard. Like it, I'm not gonna bang on it because I don't want you guys to get ear shock. But I love my old broadcast mic. But the Shure SM7B is a great mic too. It's cheaper. I think it's like $100 cheaper, and it's a fantastic microphone. Now, just remember though. Get a cloud lifter if you're going to use it. I really think those are important, especially depending on what type of interface you get, because if you get like a Scarlett or something like an entry-level interface, you're going to it'll push the limits of what your interface can do because it's a dynamic microphone, and the internal workings of a dynamic microphone, you have to be louder in order for it to pick up as well. That's why you got to turn the gain up so much. All right. And remember, what the gain is adding more power, basically, like more electricity. All right. More energy through the microphone. All right. To pick up more. It's not volume. OK, that's the difference. Volume is like after the fact. So think of volume as like what's being recorded, then I can raise and lower that. But gain is like how much it's picking up. Do you understand? So that's really the difference. So when you have a dynamic microphone, if you're not having a cloud lifter, you usually have to run the gain almost 90-95% on dynamic microphones. And what that can cause is a lot of noise inside the interface. And you'll be like, I can't get rid of this noise. I don't know what it is. That's the problem with dynamic microphones if you don't have like a cloud lifter. Okay, cloud lifters, good ones range around $100. So I would say the Shure SM7B and then a cloud lifter. I use a Fed head. You can see right here. That's what this is right here. It's a Fed head. Now, other cloud lifters, it's like a box and it's blue and it says cloud lifter. Either one of them works well. This one works well, but all basically they're about $100. All right, but congrats on that, my friend. Let's see. Facebook user, better to have something than nothing. Absolutely. Facebook, at this point, after 6 weeks of no orders, I would take anything. Alden, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Alden. Ruthie says, hi, from a newbie in Chattanooga. Awesome, Ruthie. Thank you for being here. Welcome. It's good to have you. Maria says, happy Fiverr Friday, VO Warriors. That's right. Hope you're all having a great day. Absolutely. You too, Maria. Joe Ricky, what's up, Joe? Greetings. Good to see you. Joe says, it's going, bro. Sean says, as a lifelong musician, I've always mixed and mastered my own music, which really helped when I started in voiceover. Yeah, absolutely. I've met a lot of musicians recently being in voiceover, and that really does help a lot. I had no experience mixing music with sound, with voice. I used to be I did live theater, and I did occasionally run a mixing board for live sound. But if anybody's worked live sound and recorded sound, it's really completely different. I didn't even know what Audacity was. Or DAW. I didn't know anything when I started. So, but it definitely helps if you have that experience. Absolutely. Let's see. Facebook user, you're really getting paid to learn. Yep, that's true. Replying to Joe. Joe, we're glad you hear it. Absolutely. JB Music, again, thank you for that super chat. Great Scott. Hey, Anthony, what's up? Facebook user, do you have a video with tips for DIY demos? Why, yes, I actually do. I have one of my best videos on this YouTube channel for free. You got to go back some, but I run you through from point A to Z on how to make your own DIY demo. And it's a really great video. It's a little long. You could see when I did that video, this was all set up differently. I was actually facing this way, and none of this was here because I hadn't set any of it up yet. But the video is great, and it is free on this YouTube channel, so you can find it. Let's see. Hello from Christine says hello from Missouri. Hi, Christine. Good to have you. Chelsea says, happy Friday. Nice blue walls. Thank you. Lazarus says, hello, everyone. Hey, Lazarus. Joe says, wow, you're a regular guy. You're a human. You're only human. Christopher, what's up? Bill, what's up? Greetings from sunny Florida. Hey, Bill, Don't rub it in, Bill. Johnny says, let the dog in. Yeah, I know. Intruder alert. That's right. The dog's at no. He gets mad because I think my daughter probably went for a walk or something and didn't take it, or they were getting ready to go or if they went for a walk, they would have taken him. So I'm not sure why he was barking. But I'm still here, so it must not have been an intruder. Let's see. Walter, happy Fiverr Friday, everyone. Flyer here. Eric, what's up, my man? Charles says, at what point would it be justified to get a pro demo, Anthony Pica? Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. So, for example, I have a team of people we offer demos to voice actors now. And I think that a pro demo, a great time to get a pro demo is one, when you have money to invest, when you're ready to invest more money into growing your business. And two, you really want to push yourself with like a director, someone who's going to direct you through. See, like I write the scripts, I direct people through their demo. So I'm with you and I help you direct. Now you record it in your studio because I think that's the only way you need to do it. But I direct you while you do it. Then I have my production team go through and add all the bells and whistles, music, effects, etc., and mix it. And I think the time to do that again is when you're ready to push yourself and your business to the next level. Okay, that goes beyond you, that offers more support. I always think that, we can grow by ourselves, but we get to a point where we need extra help to grow more. And that's everything. That's with any business, anything in life. So I would recommend when you're ready and you have money to invest, all right, and you want to push yourself to the next level, that's when I would say, get a pro demo done. Absolutely. Great question, Charles. Thank you. Audie says, what's up, Anthony? Hello, hello. Sean says, experience is also a factor. When I listen to my old demos, it makes me cringe. It's a funny thing. If you guys want to have a fun time, if you want to laugh your tail off, go on to Audible, Type in Anthony Peak. I do this with my Avio's Journey Elite group. We always have a good laugh. By the way, Avio's Journey Elites, if you're interested, we'd love to have you. It's a group that we meet Wednesdays and Saturdays every week to help each other grow our voiceover businesses through voice acting coaching, marketing coaching, coaching with editing and mic technique, all that jazz. That's a really wonderful group to join. There'll be a link below, or you can go to aviosjourney.com. But I always show my group, Avio's Journey, we go back and look at my things I first did as a voice actor, and we all have a really good laugh at it because it's funny to go back and listen to what you did when you first started comparative to where you are now, which again tells you if that's your first starting, do the very best that you can do, but I promise you, you will get better. It will get easier, but whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give up no matter how bad it is or how cringeworthy your performances are. Don't give up, okay? Let's see. You say, let's see, you grow as you grow, you learn as you learn. Absolutely, Alden. Johnny says, very useful knowledge, mate. Thank you. Absolutely. Chelsea, what's up, Chelsea? Says, this is really good to hear. I'm sometimes apprehensive to send my homemade commercial demo, but it's what I currently have now, and I'm working to get better and better equipment. Absolutely. You got to do what you got to do. Now, I have to tell you, when I first did my demo, my first DIY demo, I was nervous too. I thought it wasn't worth anything. So I didn't send emails. I didn't do a lot of marketing outside of putting my stuff on Fiverr or something because I thought I was embarrassed. And we all feel that, I think, at some point. Do you know what I mean? That worry. And again, that's why I'm just on this journey to constantly get better, constantly do better. All right. Let's see. Oh, I never made it to Fiverr Friday. Facebook user, hey Anthony, love watching your videos every Saturday morning with coffee. Always some fab tips. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Joe says, open it up, baby. Chelsea P, what's up? My demos and everything has gotten better, yet buyers still don't want to pay much more than the price of a Happy Meal. How do you portray your higher value to buyers as you progress? Better than a Happy Meal. That's good, Chelsea. So this is a wonderful question, and there will come a point, and I did this, and this is something that I recommend that you do too. If you are super busy, because I would ask you, Chelsea, are you super swamped with work? Are people just beating down your door to give you work, even if it's still for not a lot of money? Are you busy? Are you super busy, or are you not super busy? I know there's different trains of thoughts out there, but this is what I always told myself. And I got this from the theater. And I actually have to give my wife credit for this. But a long time ago when I was in theater and I was, being I wasn't, packing, I wasn't selling out any of the shows I was doing. And I was like, I know, I just need to add some more shows and I can make more money, right? Of course, you got to pay more costs the more shows you have. My wife said to me, she said, why would you add more shows if you can't sell out the ones you currently have? And that has stuck with me. So my wife's the brilliant one. That has stuck with me for a long time, right? And I'm going to say the same thing to you, as well. If we are not selling out our services, meaning if we are not swamped with work and people aren't beating down the door for our work, okay, then maybe we still aren't doing something completely right. Now, I'm not going to, I wouldn't know what that is, unless, I could guess if we work together. But the reality is that I never changed my prices. I charged $5 for 150 words for a couple of years until I got so busy that I physically could not, literally, physically, time-wise, there was no more time to make any more money. And I was making about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And I was like, there's no more time to make money. I don't know how I'm going to make more because that wasn't enough for me, to leave my job and feel comfortable. So I was like, the only way at this point then is supply and demand, economics. There's so much demand. My supply of my time is limited. It's a fixed limit. So I've got to raise my prices. And I raised my prices always by $5. I raised them to $10. I was still busy. I raised them to $15. I kept them at $15 for a while. I was still super busy. I raised them to $20. Then I raised them to 25. I kept them at 25 for a while. Then I raised them to 30. I was busy, raised them to 35, and I've got super busy. Then I raised them to 40, and lo and behold, I'm still busy. And, you know, what I'm trying to say to you is I didn't do that for years until I was so busy. Now, some other people say, hey, when you get to 100, you know, they feel confident, like 100 reviews, that's a good time to raise your prices or something. But the reality is that even if you have a fantastic demo, all right, but you're not getting tons of work, something is not working correctly, right? Whether it's your photos, whether it's you getting in front of enough people. And if you're not getting in front of enough people, that means the traffic we are getting, we're not capitalizing enough on that traffic, whether it's your thumbnail, whatever it is. Okay. And let's be honest, the more people that join Fiverr, you're always going to have these people who rocket to the top out of the blue. Okay. There's always going to be those people, those outliers. But for the most of us, it takes time. I mean, my first year in Fiverr, I made $800 in a year. It was way less than what I spent in my equipment and stuff. You know what I mean? After the microphone and stuff, I bought more stuff. I bought more microphones. I bought more equipment to get better. Okay. And then I made more money as the years went on to now. But, you know, keep your head up, keep pushing, but don't switch things. Don't, you know, think something's wrong with like what you're doing. There could be the simple fact that you're just not getting in front of enough people. And in which case, that's a new challenge for you to figure out. In fact, that has nothing to do with your demo. That has everything to do with how well you're able to work online. And that's a whole nother world, right? But we as voice actors have to deal with that. I know I'm going off topic. But Chelsea, thank you for that question. That is a question that I think a lot of people ask. So thank you for that. Scott, happy Friday. What's up, Scott? Johnny, hello, Baz. Baz, my man. Good to have you. It is the evening there, isn't it? I guess it's probably, 6:30 there where you guys are over in the UK? Let's see. Sean, voiceovers, interface. That was another thing, you guys. The difference. Even I had $1,000 mic and the laugh, but I had $1,000 microphone and a $99 interface. I had upgraded from a USB mic to a PreSonus audio box for my interface. And then I had the Rode NT1A. So you all know that microphone. I had the A, not the NT1, which the A is very bright. A should stand for astoundingly bright microphone. Anyways, that was a stretch, I know, but I tried. I bought a $1,000 mic, right, the Sennheiser 416, but I still had my $99 interface. And I didn't think, you don't think about things, but I had the DBX 286, I had the PreSonus audio box, and a $1,000 microphone. And I still could not figure out why I couldn't get the sound right. And the difference from when I switched to my Universal Audio Apollo Twin from those other pieces of those other interfaces, I actually did a test a while ago, it was a couple years ago, from the difference between the two. And it's just astounding, the difference of the sound. Okay. So again, when I told you about equipment and upgrading, and does it make you sound better? Yes, I mean it from personal experience. Troy Holden, hey AP, glad to be able to drop in today. Looks like Fiverr is opening the gates on promoting gigs to many today. Yes, I saw that. A lot of people have been getting the okay to do some gig promotions. That's good. That is great news. Let's see. Dave G, 20,000 VOs on Fiverr, 70% need coaching or more, not as much competition as you think. You know, that's a good point, Dave. That's a really good point. There are a lot of people on Fiverr who are using their cell phone to record voiceovers. There's a lot of people who are, not at the level that you are, and you are right. You are absolutely right, Dave. So just because there's lots of people out there doesn't mean that they are going to be directly competing with you at your level. You're totally right, Dave. Facebook user, Anthony, you're an inspiration. Thank you. Cheers from Cancun. Oh, Cancun, I'm jealous. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. David says, greetings, Anthony from San Diego. David, it's good to have you. Charles says, hi, Anthony. Thank you for sharing your time and knowledge. Thank you, Charles. Embodied Entertainment. What's up? What's the secret sauce of paid demos? Even with a plethora of effects, not too many, of course, high quality sounds, it's still missing something. What is it? What's the secret sauce of paid demos, even with a plethora of it? So, okay, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you're talking about it, like if you get paid demos, they're better than what you're currently doing. I'm not sure, but I could tell you some things. Remember, there is a science to what we do, but then there's an art. And I've learned more the longer I've been in this business now, and especially where I came from in theater. There is basics. There is, like, for example, mixing numbers, mixing based off of the mathematics and the numbers of what we have to complete, but then there's an art to it, right? There's an art to it. There's the knowledge of knowing what you have to do in order for like the setup and the things that don't change. But then there's the artistic nature of it. Like the words that you write. You know, we don't think about that a lot when we're starting out. What are the words you're saying in your demo? What does that matter? Like if you are doing a demo where you create a bunch of spots like, come down to the local shop and buy 30% off this cars today. You know what I mean? That's great. You might sound great, but is that inspiring the audience you are targeting to buy from you? There's an art to what we do, and there's the further we go, I think, down the rabbit hole, the more art comes out, because all of the basics of editing and mastering and mixing music and adding effects, that all becomes a tool, not an obstacle. Does that make sense? When those things are a tool for you to show your art, meaning like, what order? I mean, I know this is crazy, but it's really not. It's really important. The order you put your demo reads in. What order do you put your reads in? Does that play a difference? You better believe it. The audience you're going after and the spots that are on your demo have a direct correlation. If you don't know the audience you're going after and you're just throwing anything on your demo, you could have the best demo, but if you're for perfect example, if I'm marketing in a place where people are looking for inspirational video narrations and my demo is full of phone message and IVR spots, well, they're not going to buy from me. Even though my phone message and IVR spots could be fantastic, they won't buy from me because it's not the right targeting. It's not the right samples for who we are trying to sell to. So, there is a secret sauce, I think, when it comes to the artistic nature. And again, when your effects and the mixing and everything turns into a tool and no longer an obstacle, that's when the art can come out. Then it's the type of music you're using, right? It's the entire feel. Like, does someone listen to your whole demo and be like, man, they really are awesome? Or do they listen to the first spot and they're like, yeah, this is good. And then the second part and they're like, oh, wait a minute. And then by the end, they're like, yeah, and they move on. Okay, but they really liked the first spot, but the rest of it sucked. Okay, like, I'm going even beyond, like what I'm talking about is I'm going beyond the editing and I'm going beyond the music and the effects. There's more to it, all right, if you really want to get into it. And then, of course, every engineer or every person also has their own special take, their own feel that they can put onto something. All right. That's why whenever I find someone or myself, and I think a lot of the things I've directed over the years and the plays that I've written, things I've done as a person in the theater, stage actor and director, has helped me put together better demos, because it just helps me. I feel like I can shape them better. It's not just shoving spots on there, even though that's what I did when I first started. I know this is a long-winded answer, but hopefully that helps with what you're asking, okay? Ruthie, come to Tennessee, no income tax. Yes, I know, Ruthie. I was looking actually today. The states don't have income tax, and Tennessee is definitely one of them. I've been to Nashville. I've been to some different parts of Tennessee. Absolutely love it. It's a beautiful state. So Tennessee is awesome. Johnny says, gain level of input. Love it. Thank you, Johnny. Dave G, come on. Serious Voice is not done into a SM7 LDC or nothing. LDC. Come on. Serious Voice is not done into an SM7. So I think Dave brings up a good point too. And I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take what you said, Dave. We all are in different places. We all can afford different things. Okay? And we all have to do with we all have different money. We all have different spaces. And we do the best we can do. We do the best with what we can do, right? We do the best with what we have or what we can afford. So, Dave, I'm assuming LDC, and I apologize. I'm assuming one that's condenser. I don't know. But let's see. Let's go on to Michael. I've never heard of a cloud lifter. Yeah, and Michael, a cloud lifter allows you to use phantom power, okay, into a dynamic microphone. And as you know, phantom power is used to power condenser microphones because in a condenser microphone, there's a chip inside there that it's needed extra electricity that's sent back through your XLR cable. So anyways, so Cloud Lifter allows you to boost, all right, basically the effectiveness of gain for your dynamic microphone without overloading it. So it's a nifty tool. Walter says, is there a list Fiverr FAQs somewhere? And is it okay to copy and paste from other gigs? Good question, Walter. I always try to say don't copy verbatim, right? But clearly, there's definitely people have good FAQs. And if you find one that you like and you agree with, then by all means, you can copy it. But I always say, try to change a little. You know what I mean? Don't just try to copy it verbatim. But will anybody come after you if you copy FAQs? No one's going to come after you. Okay, it's not a big deal, in my opinion. But, just for the sake of, you could change it a little. Let's see. Chelsea says, I'm using a dynamic mic. By the way, Walter, the other part of the questions is there's not a list of them somewhere, but every person's gig, you know what I mean? You can look at their gigs, top-rated sellers and stuff. You can look at my gig and see which ones I use. In my How to Make $20,000 on Fiverr course, I show you exactly what to say as well. So that's a good course if you're looking to get more information on Fiverr. Let's see. Chelsea says, I'm using a dynamic mic and a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and I have to run the gain super hot on interface to get a decent signal. Yes, I didn't know cloud lifters were a thing. Embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed one bit. I didn't know cloud lifters were a thing either until I found out about it, until someone mentioned it like I'm mentioning it to you now. So don't be embarrassed whatsoever, but I can tell you it will help you a lot, and it will make your overall voiceovers quieter, right? You won't be having to run your Scarlett so hot. Let's see. Lazarus, I've been looking for a cloud lifter, and they are 150 new. Okay, so prices are going up. Some are more expensive than others. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I'd get a cloud lifter. I don't know. The prices keep going up. Charles landed a job with Peloton. Awesome. Yesterday, Lord knows I have a treadmill, but I don't have a Peloton. On Fiverr, for those people who say Fiverr doesn't have big name clients, and that's clearly. We've all proven that over and over again that that's not true. So, it's just, I think it is what it is. And if people are still, and there are, some people are still complaining today in 2021 that Fiverr is no good. I mean, that's okay. I don't know how much money we have to make on Fiverr, hundreds of thousands and millions. And I think they said something like, people on Fiverr, there's something like, I don't know, $1.4 billion, some crazy number. I don't know how much money we got to make for people to say it's legitimate, and that's okay. Let them stew. More money for us. Let's see. Congrats, by the way, on that. Hey, Audie, thank you so much for your super chat, your $5 donation. I really appreciate that. You said, I want to say thank you for everything you've taught me in your videos and for being such a super positive person for us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. Thank you. Let's see. Chris says, does this make sense? I turned up the gain on my mic slightly until my recording levels were hitting between -12 and -6. Nice. When I went into edit, I found that the volume did not seem that much louder than what I already had recorded, but the floor noise sounded very clean and quiet, where before there was this kind of whiny sound that I always had to use noise reduction on. Chris, I have to be straight with you, without further investigation, you know what I mean, into what exactly you were doing and what happened, I can't give you a solid answer. But I can say a couple things. One, I notice sometimes people, they're mapping, right? Like they think they're changing something somewhere, but the reality is they've changed it somewhere, but it didn't compute, like it didn't go to somewhere else because their mapping is incorrect. It could be a variety of things. I can't, unfortunately, unless you and I worked one-on-one together and I could look at what you were doing, then I could figure it out. But unfortunately, I don't know what actually happened. So it sounds like it could be just something with, by the way, the cool thing about knowing your audio chain, like from the moment, like your voice, right, the input, and it goes into your microphone, goes through your XLR cable into your interface, and through your interface into your computer and into your DAW, right? And then from your DAW back out either through your to your interface, and then either into your headphones or into your speakers or your monitors, or unless you're using monitors or speakers from your computer, you know, that chain is how you can go back and forward through it to see where an issue is. So as long as you know the flow of input and then the flow of output, okay, then you can just go back and check it off. All right, that's how we deal with sound problems. And also remember, too, another problem that comes up a lot that is hard for us to deal with is grounding issues with your electricity, like your outlets. This happens all the time. It's really bad in live sound, too. But if you notice, like your monitors or something, there might be a hum, might be like a lot of times that's a grounding issue. Okay, and you know you can get grounded. You can get grounders or whatever that you can plug in, and it helps grounding. But that's a wiring issue that is a challenge to find where that is. It's basically feedback over time. Okay, over not time, but over distance and wiring. Okay, that's not grounded properly, and it builds up, and that's where you get this like just like feedback in there. Okay, so there's all kinds of problems that we have to deal with in sound, but as long as you know that chain, you can at least work through it. Frankie, sorry, Chris. I said, Frankie, congrats, Charles. Joe says, I do have a video for that and that and that. It's sunny here, but 35. Yeah. Audie, again, thank you. JB Music, thanks for the heads up on quarterly taxes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Quarterly taxes for the first quarter of 2021 are due April 15th. And usually if we are self-employed, which most of us are, the hard reality is now it will change based on how much money you make. But in between 30 to 40% is going to be what you have to pay federal taxes. Okay. So you need to save that. We get dinged we get that extra self-employment tax because we don't, like, as an employer, if you employ people, you pay half. Like, you pay half of Medicare, you pay half of Social Security, right? And then the employee pays the other half. Like, when you look at your paycheck, right, you're paying half of it and your employer pays the other half. But when we're self-employed, the government charges us the full 15% instead of 7.5%. So we end up paying a lot more money being self-employed, and that lays credence to us going further down the road when we start making more money, changing over into different forms of business. But then there's different reporting options. So that's why I say, okay, when you're first starting out and you're making like next to no money, it's no big deal. But as you start making more money, please get a tax accountant, get a bookkeeper, get people who know what they're doing to help you with these options. Because I mean, it's it's not a big deal when you make a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 a year. But when you start making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year or up, and you will, okay, it becomes a very big deal when the government wants to take 40, 50% of your money. It's a hard check to write. Okay, let's see. Replying to Joe. Joe Wise, it's dark here. Joe says, I have an APCO character demo, and it's absolutely rocks awesome. Grant says it's late, but hello. Hey, Grant. Chris says, replying to Joe. Okay. Let's see. Robert says, thoughts on a voiceover challenge. Have you tried it? Yeah, I think you're talking about what's been going on TikTok. And basically, it's where someone comes up and says, all right, over the next X amount of seconds, see if you can follow and read the script as it goes through and record yourself and do like a side-by-side with it. I've not tried one. I've seen plenty of them, and it's taken off on TikTok. And you get more and more voice actors on TikTok. I think it's pretty fun. I've not done it yet, but I think it's fun. So yeah, give it a shot. Replying to Grant Holmes, evening's great, sir. How are you doing? Okay, guys. Let's see. Mel, happy Fiverr Friday. Question: do you still think Upwork is worth being on? They have been quite troublesome lately. Upwork is definitely going through. They were down the other day. They're definitely going through some pains. But at the same time, I know a lot of people who are making way more money on Upwork than they are on Fiverr. I think the difference with Upwork is you just got to be consistent and active with Upwork, whereas on Fiverr, you're still consistent, but it's a different type of consistency, right? Like you're checking your gigs, making sure things are updated. But I can tell you, you'll get to a point on Fiverr where I don't mess with my gigs at all anymore. The only things I do on Fiverr is jobs, right? Whereas on Upwork, you've got to submit proposals, you got to get on there. But when you're first starting out or you're trying to get more work, yes, by all means, be on Upwork. Definitely, because it's a place where people are getting work. Okay? Just note that it's a different type of platform completely than Fiverr. Even though they tried to build those gigs, and I was very excited about it, but they just kind of stalled on the gig front, and they didn't go far enough. I don't know what they're doing with that. So thanks for the question, Mel. Nick, I listened back to my old auditions and realized exactly why I wasn't hired. I also realized I sound better. Yeah. Louise, what's up? Joining late. Hello, Anthony. Nice to see you. Good to see you, too. I love your Happy Meals. Facebook, thanks for all you do. Thank you. Joseph, this is my therapy. DJ Chris, what's up? Happy Saturday. Or Friday. Saturday. It's Saturday already. Johnny says, yes, 6:30 p.m. Yep. Joe says, my new audience ID 14 has an issue. Joe, I know you were saying earlier you're having an issue with that. Sorry about that. Sometimes it really is. You can get a defective interface or even a defective microphone. I think if I remember correctly, if you all watched that Booth Junkie video when he got the ECAD 100S, there was a hiss in there and he had to send it back and they had to send him a new one and all kinds of, you can get defective stuff. Okay. So, just unfortunately be prepared for, I've heard people got effective Universal Audio Apollo Twins too. People, you can get defective gear. Let's see. Facebook user, weakest part of the chain will get you. Facebook users, a greetings. Sorry, it says Facebook user under the greetings. Sorry if it wasn't already asked, but wouldn't a client that hears a professionally done demo upon hearing my less than professionally recorded job for them be like, what's this? Possibly. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not sure. Are you meaning like the level, like the overall quality of your voiceover is not as good as the voiceover on the demo? Or do you mean like the demo just sounds so much better because there's music and special effects and stuff? Remember, that's a product to show what could be done with your voice. Do you see what I mean? So we got to remember that this is what you could do with my voiceover. You see what I mean? But it's just like a play on stage. You could stick an actor up there, right, in all black, and turn on the regular lights in the theater, just like the overhead lights, and have them stand on stage and act, and that could still be really cool. But if you put amazing costumes, build an incredible set, all right, go through, build an amazing light plot, and have great blocking, I mean, it can turn something that's really good into something that wins awards and is spectacular, right? So again, think of it in the same manner, right? It's what is possible with your voice. And that's why the perception of a really good demo matters. Okay. And it is what it is, right? It is what it is that people are not going to be like, it could sound better, but I can see that their voice could be used for this, this, and this if there's not, music and effects there. But again, if you're just starting out, you got to do what you got to do. You got to put out what you can put out. So I hope that helps. I think that's what your question was. Facebook user Universal Audio Twin is the best. I know, I love mine. 2 did a test today and I temporarily go back to my Scarlett 2i2. I've had people, again, Joe, I've had people who had that issue with all kinds of different equipment and they've had to go back to their own ones because that was working better. Chelsea says, is there a way to change which portfolio pieces show up on your gigs on Fiverr? I see in the gigs, the live portfolio, check and uncheck, but can you not select which ones to feature? So Chelsea, there is, yes, unfortunately you can't select specifics. You're not allowed to do that. But what you can do is if you don't want something to, you can't do anything about the ones that are already there, Chelsea, sorry. But what you can do moving forward is, this is just a little trick. If you deliver a voiceover file and you put it in a zip file, all right, it won't be able to show up in the featured. Now, I've had some people who are like, Anthony, I've done a political ad, and, I don't want that going with this one because this one is not my political voiceover, or, I do political ads, but I don't want that to cause any issues. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want it to show up. What do? I said, just deliver it as a zip file. Okay? Because then if you deliver it as a zip file, it won't show up. Michael says, this makes me want to try the Cloud Lifter. Let's see. Marissa, greetings from Peru. Awesome, Marissa. Great to have you. Great to have you. Let's see. Facebook user, Calc 3 was pretty tough for me. Not sure the VO math will be easier. Yeah, probably. Grand Holmes, your comments on my demo having the wrong order the other night was spot on. I did have people like the higher energy cell at the front, but not on a demo titled warm. I didn't get that till later. No, absolutely. We all do it. Thank you, Grant. I appreciate it. We all, can get backwards sometimes when it comes to what we're saying over here, what we're showing over here, the perception of it, who our audience is. Absolutely. And it's interesting when we get to that point where it all meshes, then we just start firing on all cylinders, and it's incredible. But if you're not getting all the business you want to get, something is still not in tune. Okay. Now, again, I'm not talking about outliers. Outliers are not things you want to focus on. Like the people who seem to just, just working like, it's my first month and I made $2,000. I mean, that's not reality. That's just an outlier, okay? The reality is that we have to push through, get better, because for the people who are doing that kind of stuff, we're interested in sustainability. I want to do this for years and years and years, right? I don't want it to just go away over a couple of months of just, like, woo, this is amazing, and then it stops. Okay, I don't want that. I want this to go on for years and years and years. So we're building something here. And remember, slow, it just is what it is. The slow, some things that are worthwhile take a long time to build. We know this, even though we don't want to wait. We all know this. Joe says, I'm thinking of Tennessee as well. Yeah. Facebook, can you talk about direct marketing strategies when you're working with a DIY demo? That's a good question. Well, I could talk all day long on direct marketing strategies. I won't go so far into it, but I will say that, in my personal opinion, okay, with your DIY demo, I would love for you to focus on, if you're going to go into direct marketing, focus on, getting a couple of videos, right? Like 30 seconds to a minute, like 2 videos, okay, that you do a voiceover for those 2 videos, whether you put it together yourself, whether you pay someone, something. And then all your direct marketing, you upload those to YouTube, make them unlisted, and then you send those in emails, you send them to people so they can quickly look at the video. People want to see videos. If you're doing direct marketing, people aren't going to be they don't want to listen to MP3s. Now, again, I'm not talking about a studio that is particularly like, okay, I'm ready for your MP3 demo. Even studios, they're going to want to see the video, because remember, the whole idea is what is possible with your voice. So the more exciting you make that, the better. So whether you're emailing people, whether you're making a phone call to someone and then getting their email address, whether you're sending it over social media, whether you're, putting it on your website, you've got to be aware of the visual aspect of it. Okay, that's what I would recommend you do with your DIY demo, is get a couple of videos made up and use those videos to promote yourself through direct marketing. I'm not going to go too far into all the different styles of direct marketing just because we've already been on an hour. But I hope that helps at least a little bit. Let's see. Michael says, so I have a 2i2 and a 416, and I always wondered why the mic records so low on that preamp. Now, I've heard, Michael, that the 2i2 does have an issue with like a 416 or something. It does have an issue sometimes with gain. I've heard that from many voice actors. I don't have written data in my hand about that, but I've heard it from voice actors before that there is gain issues with the 2i2, and they've had to change interfaces. Dave Cheese, Synco mic D2 instead of yeah, good call, Dave. That's true. The only difference with the that's true. The Synco mic D2 is actually probably less expensive, I think, than the SM7B. And I do recommend the Synco D2, actually. It's a shotgun microphone, and it's, the cousin. We'll say the younger cousin of the 416, the very cheaper cousin of the 416, but works really well and sounds, close to a 416. So it's a really good mic, absolutely. And being a shotgun microphone, you're going to do away with a lot of sound. Now, is it going to have as many benefits as the sound reduction as the SM7B? No, but the Synco mic D2 is great recommendation, Dave. Absolutely. Yeah. Dale, and actually I have that, I have a shop on my website that you can go to as well, VOsJourney.com, and check out the Synco's on there. I recommend the Synco, so good reminding me on that, Dave. All right, Dale says, yesterday and today I posted some of my radio TV commercials on SoundCloud, and to my surprise, I'm getting offers to work with me. Dale, that's great. I wasn't prepared for this. Do you think this is legit? Dale, if they pay you, then absolutely it's legit. If you're getting offers and people are going to pay you, absolutely. Just whatever you do, Dale, and this goes for everybody. When you are not working on a platform that has a specific escrow account so they make sure people pay them, you need to make sure that you accept payment up front, or at least half up front and half upon. I know this is not what what people used to do long ago, but I'm telling you, too many people are getting scammed. And I mean by scamming, I mean people will maybe mean to pay you, but then they don't like it, or they've got a problem. They're like, oh, I'm not going to pay them. Well, you've done all this work and you've got no money. So I always make people pay me up front. And if they don't want to pay me up front, I'll say, okay, we can do half and half, but that's how I work. You got to pay me something for me to do the work, because I don't know if they're just going to take, or they're going to be like, I'm not, even if they don't use your work, you still did it. You still need to be paid. So that's my feeling on it. So absolutely, if they pay you, absolutely. Let's see. I had no idea. That's why I just thought my 2i2 was off, so I bought the 3rd gen. Well, dang. Yeah, again, Michael, I would call Scarlett and ask them, talk to them about it. Or whatever they're called. What is a Scarlett? That's a Scarlett 2i2. I don't know. I have a great 15 or so FAQs I will let people share and use. That's nice. Let's see. Melissa says, anyone got an SM7B editing video? An SM7B editing video. What do you... So, Melissa, any microphone you use, you're going to be editing the same way in your DAW. Yeah. So Oh, on Adobe. I don't know if people have specific mic editing videos, but it makes me think of what Joe said. I do have videos on editing in Adobe Audition on this channel as well. And I do have a course on, using Adobe Audition. But usually you don't have people using specific mics because no matter what mic you use, you still are it's still the same editing process. You know what I mean? I mean, now again, what your mic picks up based on the mic you have, then that might change what type of editing you're doing, but you wouldn't change your editing process based on the mic. You do it based on the sound of your voice that goes into the DAW from the mic. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, so I'm not sure, but yeah. Steve says, late to the party. Good to have you, Steve. Greg says, howdy. Sorry I'm late. No problem. Facebook user, are dynamic and condenser microphones the same? They are not the same. I have a Sennheiser MK4 and a 2i2 and also have to turn up the gain. Again, the 2i2, I've heard again from people that can have gain problems, especially with Sennheiser products. They're not the same. They're not the same. The internal workings of a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone are different. For example, in a dynamic microphone, basically there is a diaphragm, all right, at the top, and behind that there's a coil, and there's two magnets, and that metal coil and the magnets create a magnetic field. All right, and when that magnetic field is disrupted by your voice, all right, by the frequencies in your voice, okay, that signal is then sent through the XLR cable and read in your interface, which is then turned into a digital signal into your computer, okay? Whereas a condenser microphone, there's a plate, and then when that plate through your voice is disrupted by your voice, okay, there is a plate directly behind it that picks it up, all right, and then there is a chip in there. It's almost like if you go online, look at any pictures, it's literally like a chip that has to be powered by phantom power, and that reads the frequencies in your voice, right? And because of that, condenser microphones, because it doesn't have to disrupt that magnetic field, they're a lot more sensitive. All right, and that's why people say condenser microphones are more sensitive. But because they're more sensitive, they pick up higher and lower ranges in your voice and more frequencies, which gives you a cleaner, more full sound, okay, sometimes than dynamic microphones. Okay, so again, but the trade-off is you're going to get a lot more noise picking up. So if you have a very noisy space, that's why always the mindset is you get a dynamic microphone or a shotgun microphone, okay, a condenser shotgun microphone, because a shotgun microphone, the shotgun pattern is very narrow, okay. But that's why with with dynamic microphones, you usually get up close to them, okay. The most famous one is the SM57. And the SM58. These are old school microphones that are still used today on the stage. Those are the ones with the silver balls that looks on the top, and you held it, and you saw like singers and stuff, their mouths would be touching it, okay, because you had to get that close to make it have good noise, but it was so good, it didn't pick up all of the noise behind it. So, yeah. But good question about dynamic and condenser microphones. The more you learn about this stuff, you guys, the more you can make decisions. I mean, this is not the time, but we could get into the dynamic range of a microphone and why you should pick a specific microphone for your voice and for your space. All microphones have their own dynamic range, and it shows they have charts and things. And if you ever, and now I'm not talking about a polar pattern. Okay, that's the pickup pattern around the microphone and how wide or narrow that is. I'm talking about the dynamic range, about how high, how low. Just like speakers or monitors, there are frequencies that are boosted, all right, and high range or low range and different microphones that make them sound better or worse for your voice or someone else's voice, whether it's a female or a male or a high or a low pitch, whatever. Okay, it changes, and these are a lot of things that if the more you learn about it, the better it becomes with you picking a microphone that's right for you. I know that can make your head spin, so we won't go much into that right now. Lazarus says, there's probably more than you wanted to know. Let me be bougie. We don't want them taking any gigs on Fiverr anyway. More work for us. Yeah. The SM7B is broadcast quality. I prefer it to the Cinco. Better again, I and I love the discussion, right? It's based off of you. We were just talking about it in your voice, what you like, your space. It's all based off of you. So the idea here is that, you got to try some stuff up. And here's another thing too. Don't be afraid. I know some people do, but a lot of these stuff you can return if you don't like it. Try it out. And if you don't like it, return it. Let's see. Dawn says, super noob. Hi, Dawn. Welcome. Not ready for Fiverr yet. Still trying to learn Audition. Any course recommendations? Already have yours. Awesome, Dawn. There is some, I do like Tim Tippett's. He's pricey, but he has a really good course. But I do think that, Dawn, it might be better, if you have specific questions to actually work with somebody, like if we did a one-on-one together, do you know what I mean? And you could post, like, I could answer your specific questions, walk you through so you and I can see, and you can ask questions. A lot of times when that's what you want to find is work with someone maybe who you can ask the questions you have to, and try to spending all this time trying to search for the right thing and inevitably spending way more money than you would have if you just asked somebody questions. So that's my recommendation, Dawn. You could just book a one-on-one with me. I'd love to help you. And that's on avosjourney.com. You can find it there. Facebook user, I spent all yesterday tearing apart my whole system from monitors to computer. Finally got rid of the electronic hiss by changing to an older HP laptop. Yeah, you found what the problem was. Good deal. Dale says, my tax preparer and accountant said that as long as I earn under $10,000, then I don't have to file quarterly. Cool. Let's see. And I'm going to mess up this name, Lungisa. And I apologize if I said that name wrong. Thank you so much for this live session. I'm watching from South Africa. Welcome. It's great to have you. It is nearly my bedtime over here. Thank you so much for spending time watching with us. Let's see. Melissa says, I'm around 10K a year too. Seems not that bad. Joe says, APCO is Anthony Pica and Co. Okay, I was wondering, what is APCO? Cool. Yes, Joe, you're a very talented character actor. I love it. Let's see. Chef Gorilla. Finished my first Fiverr gig today. Congrats. Made the jump thanks to you. Awesome. Do you have any tips regarding where to get background music for VO? Best case would be stuff you don't have to attribute free to use. So the best free to use place right now to get music is on YouTube. If you get on YouTube, start your own YouTube channel. It's free. If you go into your YouTube studio, there is a whole place it calls, like for free music. There's free music. There's effects. It's all free. You can just download it and use it. That's the free option. The other options I would recommend is Storyblocks and Envato Elements, but those are paid. But YouTube by far is the best option right now. It's free and all kinds of music and effects. So all you gotta do is start a YouTube channel. Again, YouTube channel is free. And once you go into your YouTube studio, it's there on the left, the bottom left ribbon. I can't remember if it's called audio free something, but it's free. Yeah, tons of free music. That would be the free way to go. Chef Grill says, thank you for all your tips and great content. Thank you. Dave G's broadcast quality means nothing. Serious voice is done with other mics. Dave, you're serious about this, brother. SM is a forgiving mic for bad spaces. An audio engineer will reject you for using that mic, just saying. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Let's see. That's all I'm going to say about that, Dave. And remember, I respect everybody's opinions, and I think that's your opinion, and that's wonderful. And just remember, everybody, that again, in my opinion, this is all based on what you can do right now. And people would have rejected me left and right with a $40 USB microphone from Best Buy that looked like a snowball painted black. All right. But I still built my voiceover business. So you can do it too. All right, depending on whatever you have, just continue to upgrade as you go along, okay? And thank you, Dave, for that information. Lazarus says, I did get a defective Apollo Twin X first, then was replaced with a working unit. And last week, I got a defective Aston Orange. Man, Lazarus, you had a bad go on that. Todd, how many folks have you coached, Anthony? A lot. Hundreds of people. A lot, Todd. I don't have an exact number. I don't keep an exact number, but, a lot. I would definitely say hundreds of people. Absolutely. Joe, for the character demo. Okay. Yes. Facebook user, best sources for learn more about producing engineering side of things to start from basics and get an understanding of techniques. So remember, I have a couple of courses. I've got my own Adobe Auditions course just for beginners, Audacity course for beginners. Tim Tippett's has a great course for Adobe Audition, okay, and for beginners too. And his is very thorough. It's expensive. I think it's like, last time I checked, it was $500. I'm not sure if it's still that. It's worth it, but it's expensive. But honestly, I learned most of my stuff from YouTube videos. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Munya, I hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. Hi, Anthony. Thank you so much for all the wisdom you share. Thank you. Question. I have been getting about 8 orders a week for the past months. 8 orders a week for the past month. That's really good. But now all of a sudden it's crickets for over a week. No changes made to my gigs prior. Any tips? This happens. Fiverr does this thing where they rotate people. Right? They rotate you and you'll be up there for a couple of weeks and then they rotate you to the back so other people in the back can then go closer to the front. And this happens to a lot of people. My suggestion is, keep going in. If you feel like you need to make any changes, that's fine too. Add more gigs if you can. Just keep refreshing, and adding new stuff. But other than that, it's kind of hard when Fiverr does that. We don't have any control over it. In those moments, I work on a lot of other platforms too. So remember, the ideal with Fiverr is if we're paying Fiverr 20% for them to market our business. That's right? You know what I mean? So, we don't want to spend terrible amounts of time when we're getting work and we're not getting work, okay, to get back in the front, you know what I mean? Yes, sometimes we got to refresh, we got to add new tags and stuff like that, but a lot of times it might be somewhat out of your control if you were getting that much business. Now, one thing that might happen, check to see what your response rates are. Check to see now you won't know, but sometimes people when they Fiverr surveys everybody. Maybe you had a couple of unhappy clients, things like that happen. But just keep plugging away at it. It'll come back up. Stitch Doctor, is creating your own demo bad? Absolutely not. I think we talked about that at the whole entire beginning of this. It's not bad whatsoever. But again, I want to point out that when you're doing this yourself and you're just learning, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? It's not going to be the same as if you pay someone thousands of dollars who's been doing this for 30 years and has all of this knowledge and artistic background. It's not going to be the same. But then, do you really want that? Because if you had that, could you reproduce that if someone paid you for it? Probably not. So that's why I'm a big advocate for, and you got to understand, old school wise, right? Before home studios was the thing, you would go into a studio, right? You would record. So it would make sense to have a professional studio recording of a demo. Because when it came time for you to do work, what would you do? You'd go back into that studio or you'd go into another studio. So all you were doing was your voice. Engineers, everybody else was doing everything else. But now that's not the way it is. And honestly, to go back to some of the other conversations we've had, I'm not doing the majority of my work is not for engineers and studios. It's for businesses. It's for business people like us trying to grow their business all around the world. So, I think that doing your own demo is not a bad thing, but just know that you are where you are right now. So that means you might not get top tier work if you're just starting out. And why would we shouldn't think we should, even though we want it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not bad at all. No. But it's going to take time for you to get good at it. Does that make sense? I guess bad is relative to what you mean by bad. Grown problem, Sean says, grown problem, also known as 60 cycle hum. Oh, wow, okay. At Chef Gorilla, congrats. I've had some luck getting music in my demo YouTube music. Yeah. Alden says Deity S Mic 2 or Cinco D2. Oh, I like the Deity too. I like the Deity as well. I've heard good things about it. I had more experience with the Cinco D2, but I've heard good things about that one. I mean, again, I really would test it out. And you're going to come to a point where some of the mics are very close to each other. You know what I mean? Very close to each other. So you really got to, my recommendation is test out a mic, get other people to listen to it. Because a lot of times we can get so caught up with what we think sounds great. And then you have other people listen to it and they're like, no, that actually sounds better. And you're like, huh. But then you got to make decisions. So it's like, who are you having listen to it? It can be complicated, but I would say that, try them both out if you can return it. If you can't, you know what I mean? I have a lot of knowledge with the Cinco D2, but I've heard wonderful things with the Deity as well. So it's really up to you on that one. Rod, hey, Anthony, we had a one-on-one session on Tuesday. For my deep voice, do you recommend a Neumann TLM 103 or the 416? I'm partial to deep voices in the 416. Okay, the 416 became this mic promo deep voice kind of thing, and the TLM 103 kind of became this, really, it's a great, both of them are great microphones, but a great narration microphone as well. But just know that the TLM 103 is a large diaphragm microphone, which means it's going to pick up everything. All right, when a needle drops. And then your 416, it has that shotgun, so it's a lot more narrow field. But because of that, you got to get up to that microphone, okay, to get that beautiful, warm voice. But either one of those microphones are fantastic. I just like the 416, especially for deep voices, personally. So I would recommend the 416 for your voice. Let's see. Sean, I do not like sending proposals. That's why I like Fiverr. The work comes to you. Yeah. Baz says, we spoke on Wednesday night about interface issues. Join up Facebook groups and see if anyone else is having the same issues. 2 could be faulty batch. It's very possible. Send the item back for replacement. Absolutely. Joe, you might need to adjust your rack based on different mic. Well, yeah, that's true because the different mic will process, your voice will sound different on there. So yes, you might have to change up, but it could be different, but usually you don't have videos based on microphones, editing microphones, I don't think, is what I was talking about. Dale says, good point about payment. I've been burned in the past being too generous. I'm not a good collection agent. That's why you just make it up front. Just make them pay up front. Bass, or even find out from the manufacturers there's a firmware update. That's very true. That's very true. A lot of updates really get us. Walter says, thanks. Walter says, have a great weekend. You too. Joe says, Caddy 100S works great for narration and the such. And is very quiet. Nice. Lazarus says, Chef Gorilla, friend with me in Facebook, and I'll show you where. Okay. Awesome. Sam says, thanks for always being there for us, Anthony. Thank you so much, Sam. Let's see, Langisa. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. You got my name right. Okay. I was like, well done, and thanks for the effort you put in to help us. Absolutely. You're welcome. Chris says, everything I learned to this point, I've learned from YouTube. I mean, it really, in the end, you work with a coach to buy back time. Because I think the information is all out there, but knowing when to, what information to use, when to use it, how it applies directly to you and your situation, that's the complicated part. Working with a coach can help you move faster, but the information is definitely out there on YouTube. I mean, I've put out hundreds of videos, but going through all my videos and trying to figure out which one exactly and which nugget you need at that particular moment, that's a challenge. So, usually working with a coach, paying for a coach, you're paying for knowledge. Do you know what I mean? You're paying for knowledge and time. I always think of that, as paying for knowledge and time. That's when I work with people, I try to give them as much of my knowledge as I can, and that a lot of time we have together. Let's see. Ron says, hey, Anthony, wanted to know if I have a Cinco D2 and an Audi 94. Should I just bite the bullet and buy an Apollo and a Neumann TL3? I can afford top quality stuff once. Help. Well, Ron, I would say that, if you're going by what I say, I always want to upgrade if I can. But then I would ask, are you having a lack? Like, are you not getting business? Is there something going on with is that, where you're going? My recommendation is put your goals down, like the equipment you're trying to get, put that down somewhere so that you're working towards it. And when the time comes, go for it. Do you know what I mean? Because those are fantastic equipment. Can you do great things with the Cinco D2 and the 94? Absolutely. All right. But the Apollo and the Neumann TL 103 is going to be great too. All right. So that's just, my opinion about it. So, I mean, I don't think you can go bad either way. Chef Gorilla, thanks. I already found the YouTube library. Awesome. Let's see. Is that Viva? What is it? Viva Re Christ. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's so easy that I'm just not seeing it. Krista Set for Fiverr. I'm sorry. We'll call it Vive. Sorry, Vi. I'm gonna call you Vi. All right, Vi. For a Fiverr Upwork DIY demo, should I introduce myself in the beginning or just go right to the sample scripts? Ooh, good question. So you'll notice a lot of people. Sorry, Margaret Westner. Hello, it's your mom. That is my mom. What are you doing on here, Mom? Good gracious. This is as bad as my son getting on here and trolling around. I love you, Mom. Good to see you. Anyways, that's funny. Anyways, to get you, see now am I blushing? You see my face? My mom's on here. Of all the people in the world, right? I've performed in front of thousands and thousands of people. I've done all kinds of stuff, but my mom is the only person that can make me laugh and do all kinds of stuff while I'm in character or something. So I give it to my mom. Love you, Mom. All right. Anyways, where was I going with that? For Fiverr Upwork DIY demo, should I introduce myself in the beginning or just go right back to the sample scripts? Listen, there's a lot of people who do both. I personally only do right off the bat into the script. I don't introduce myself, but a lot of people do introduce yourself. I look at it this way. Perception is key, right? So like if you have a great space to look at, and people can really feel like, gosh, this is a real professional, and you have a great professional, like you do well on camera, go for it. But if you don't, I don't think you're losing any by just going right into your demo. Okay, so I would say you could do either way, but just remember, if you're going to do the welcome greeting, it better look and sound amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, because people, remember, we get 1 to 3 seconds usually that people give us an opportunity to listen to us, and you need to make an impression. So that's my thing. All right. Neil says, all else being equal, do most Fiverr buyers prefer more words being included in a gig or including a free revision? All else being equal, do most Fiverr buyers prefer more words being included in a gig? I would think people would like more words. That's my personal opinion, but you've got to set your rates and set your expectations. Expectations are everything, right? So if you have a revision policy, you need to make sure that you're saying it everywhere. There's another thing I learned when I was interning as a principal, and when I was in education. And one thing I learned a lot, especially with like parents and sending stuff home too, with the kids stuff, you got to remind people over and over and over and over and over again, just because they're not thinking about it. So you've got to show that expectation over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, just to make sure that it comes up, right? Think about how much stuff we see things now. All right. We block out a lot of information. So yeah, I would say get it in front of people, that expectation, or offer more words. Either way, I think, if I was like buying something, more words make sense. But from a selling standpoint, that's a lot more work. So there's got to be a happy medium there. All right, we're going to have to end it up here, guys. We've been on here for a while, been an hour and a half. Let's see. I started with the AT 2035. then upgraded to a Stellar X2, considering a Rode NT1 as another upgrade. Opinion? I do like the Stellar X2. It's really up to you. I mean, listen. I mean, Dale, you considering a Rode NT1 as another upgrade. If you're going to upgrade, I wouldn't go to the Rode NT1. I would look above the Rode NT1. There's nothing wrong with the Rode NT1, but if you're looking to upgrade, I mean, I don't know what your budget is, but like I said, get up to the Cinco. I mean, you're going to pay probably the same price, the Cinco D2, or and if you got like $500, go after the CAD, or one of the dynamic microphones. Like I said, the RE20 or SMB. 7B. Joe, thanks again, Anthony. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Absolutely. Ron, I just hate to keep upgrading. Did that as a DJ in the 90s. I just hate to keep it now. I think that guy Rich is the best on the site. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Ron says, thanks. Learning. Me too. Thank you, Mom. Maria says, hello from Texas. Lazarus says, Ron Cook, you can buy used equipment at Guitar Center or Sweetwater and get protection plans. That's true. Do you produce VO demos for talent? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. Is it Rashia? I apologize if I say your name wrong. Absolutely, I do. I have different packages for people who are just beginning or more advanced people as well. And my team and I have done tons of demos for voice actors, and it's a lot of fun. If you want, you can check it out at vosjourney.com, and there'll be a place there for the demos, and you can look at what package you want. And you can always message me or email me, and I'd love to help you out, okay? Thank you for that question. Let's see. Hello from Texas. Hello, Maria from Texas. Let's see. Ron says, thanks, Lazarus. Thanks, Anthony. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this hour and a half with me. Thank you those who were so kind and donated using the Super Chat tab. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. It helps me spend all this time with you guys and answer all of your questions. Please, if you get a chance, like, subscribe, as always, and don't be afraid to leave a comment after this. So many of you guys did. Thank you for your questions. Also, again, one last thing, if you're interested in joining a VO's Journey Elite, this is for brand new people coming into voiceover. This is for people who are trying to just make more money in voiceover. Love to have you. There'll be a link below. We meet on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We meet tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you miss episodes, by the way, too, because you're busy or doing something else, you can always watch replays. It's just a wonderful group that, we hold each other accountable and help each other grow our businesses so that, we can live a good voiceover life. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you later. See ya. Goodbye. Goodbye.